What's up, guys? Welcome to the James Boudreau podcast, where I sit down with people from all walks of life to talk about their stories, experiences, and ideas. This podcast is brought to you by Watson Motors, the official studio sponsor. If you're in need of a Jeep, Ram, or Dodge, or whatever, these guys have you covered with great deals and even better service. So hit them up in Manistee, Benzie, or Ludington, or check them out online at watsonmotors.com. Listen, support the people that support the show. Now let's get into it. I'm pumped to do it again. So I got to do better than
I'm excited. I was honestly going to come watch you, but I got busy that day and I wasn't able to. But I was rooting for you at home.
I appreciate it. I was actually surprised the amount of people that watched it, that drove up there. Or like you could watch it online if you wanted to.
Okay, that I wasn't aware of.
It's like a little app tracker thing.
Okay.
Because we had to wear an ankle monitor the whole race.
Okay.
And that they have their own, Ironman has their own tracker system or whatever.
Well, I would imagine that's safety reasons as well.
Yeah, plus they want to make sure you're not cheating because literally, I mean, I couldn't tell you how many times we went over a timing mat out and around the course, even on the bike.
Okay.
To make sure that you were following the course properly and all that shit.
Sure.
It was pretty rad. My training partner, my dog, my ride or die, Tommy's going to do it with me this year. So the guy he's been on the podcast too. He's a really rad dude. We trained all summer long together, and I kept telling him, "You're ready. You could do this." So he's gonna try to do it this year.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's even gonna be more fun because now he's really got to train. On our off days, training together, I was training. So now he's got to.
I think it's always better when you have a partner because you have somebody to push you on the days you don't feel like doing it, and because it's super easy to psych yourself out and tell yourself that you don't have it in you. But you do. You
need a training partner, somebody to push you. I'm very much a solo, when it comes to working out. I really just kind of enjoy the silence, especially of a long run. If I got to do like 15, 20 miles, I'd rather do it by myself. But when you have somebody with you, you push each other. So the workout itself, the training, for however long you're doing it, is just better.
Yeah.
There's just more effort that's put in.
Yeah, I think overall, the benefits of it, that you get after having somebody push you is more than what you would get yourself.
So, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. It sounds stalkerish, but I've been watching from a distance. I really appreciate what you're doing online.
Thanks.
With Fitness Rach. We're going to put a little link to that in the show notes. This episode is brought to you by Brandon Ball, broker owner of Dwelling Realty, Keller Williams, Northern Michigan. Are you looking to sell your home? Then look no further. When you list your home with Brandon Ball, you'll get a trusted advisor who will guide you through the entire selling process. With extensive knowledge of the local market, he'll help price your home competitively to attract the right buyers. And with proven marketed strategies, your home will be seen by the most qualified of buyers. With 17 years in the business, you'll have someone experienced who's on your side. Contact Brandon today to get started selling your home. 231-690-4981. That's 231-690-4981. Or Brandon at dwellingrealty.com. This episode is brought to you by Trailhead Bike Shop. Trailhead Bike Shop is an old school independent bike shop owned and operated by two supremely rad humans, Kyle and Lynette Nichols. They're a full-service shop offering quality bicycles while providing quality service at a fair price. They strive to provide great customer service and build relationships within the community. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. No matter what kind of cycling you're doing, be it on the road or getting after it on gravel, Trailhead Bike Shop is the shop you need to check out. You can find them at 216 West Ludington Avenue, Ludington, Michigan. You can get a hold of them at 231-845-0545 or trailheadbikeshop.com. But how did that come about? You are very into health, wellness, working out, and you are not, at least it appears that you're not shy about posting about it, which I think is, it's inspirational. Thanks. I'm sure that it inspires people.
I hope so. That's kind of my goal. So I've always been into working out. When I was in high school, middle school, I did sports. I wasn't a high school sports kid, not very coordinated in that aspect. So I would weightlift in the gym and things like that. And then out of high school, I started running, and it just started kind of snowballing from there. I tried different things. I started my Instagram account, I'd say probably a decade ago. And it was mostly just for my accountability at first. And then Instagram became popular. And so I thought, well, if somebody sees me and I can inspire or encourage or, teach somebody something that they didn't know, I thought that was great. And that's really kind of all I've used my platform for.
Now, how have the interactions been with the people that follow you?
It's mixed.
Yeah.
It's mixed. And I think anybody gets that. I've got people that'll interact just because, like, I have other coaches. Well, I'm not a coach, but I have coaches that'll get a hold of me and they want, one-on-one coaching or they want to train me. And like, I'm not really interested. I've done that, but I'm not really interested at the moment. But other than that, it's a lot of good feedback. So I get people like how transparent I am.
Yeah, dude, I wanted to talk about that too, because I think it's super authentic what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're not like trying to fake anything.
No, none of my stuff has filters on it. Some of it, I wouldn't say it's not scripted, but yeah, like I'll cut and paste different things, but everything is me putting in the work, showing that, fitness can fit into a busy life, person with a career and kids and all that kind of stuff. And that a lot of what you see online is it's just fake. It's just fake. And you don't have to be, a size 2 to be fit.
Yeah, I know that. I've been trying to lose 20 pounds for 10 years. Which I have to do a better job of. I'm really starting to focus on that. And I'm not saying that because I need to lose 20 pounds. I want to. I actually want to lose about 25 or 30 because it's just going to help me more in the iron.
Yeah.
Carrying the weight. This morning, 205. I range anywhere for the last 15 years. It's been between 200 and 220 and not gone down.
Yeah, well, that's a very much an endurance sport. And, especially when you're in the water. Yeah.
Well, I have a wetsuit. That helps me float. Because if I didn't have the wetsuit, I would sink to the floor.
It does. But, if you're packing on 60 pounds of muscle, I just feel like you're probably going to have a harder time.
I saw a dude struggling who looked like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I believe it.
On the run.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, dude, you are jacked.
Yeah. You see people that run marathons and they're not huge, bulky bodybuilders. They're lean and, yeah, it's an endurance sport.
I don't want to be lean. I'm a very ego-driven idea of what I want to look like. I'm being honest.
Sure.
I aesthetics are kind of something that I try to achieve.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. But I do want to be strong. I don't want to be a lean, skinny runner. But I know that I have to be a little bit lighter if I'm going to improve in this sport. So that's something I'm really trying to focus on. Plus, dude, I don't want to get off script. I got a bunch of stuff I want to talk about. But this kind of dovetails into some of the stuff I want to bring up. Like, I know I'm drinking a Diet Coke. Man, that tastes good. But at least for the last 15 years, I have been hardcore on diet and exercise. I mean, hardcore. Like, I've sampled in being a vegan, being a vegetarian. Now I'm back on, the meat train. But everything is with purpose. We don't eat fast food. We don't eat any of the bullshit. We eat 95% of our meals at home. We try to buy organic, grass-fed, all the things, right? And like I said, I'm super active. And I go to the doctor for my physical, and I've got, wild cholesterol.
Oh.
Like, not like you're going to have a stroke or heart attack, but, the whole statin thing comes up. And I'm not a fan of taking pills, right? I mean, I take vitamins, but that pharmaceutical stuff kind of spooks me anyways. So now I'm really like, okay, so like, how can I try to course correct this? Because when you go online, I've said this before, with almost anything, you're going to find the answer that you are looking for, so I could find all kinds of shit that tells me I don't need to be on a statin.
Oh, absolutely.
And, cholesterol's got a bad rap. It's got a bad, blah, blah, blah. So anyways, I've kind of shifted my mindset. There was a part of me when I was talking to my wife about it, because she's very much, well, what do you want to do? And together we pretty much decided that I think we're just going to try to shift the diet a little bit. So since then I've like cut out sugar, which has been a roller coaster. and and I don't eat a lot of sugar.
Yeah.
Right? Like every night after dinner, we Betsy and I each have a little corner of a piece of like organic chocolate that's like 90% dark or whatever it is. It's super bitter, but I mean that's like it. Every now and then a piece of cake at a birthday party or something. So I don't typically eat sugar anyways. But just a little bit I eat, I could tell.
Yeah.
You know, and it was like, got just like no energy or whatever. Because during the summer, like when we were talking about, I feel like I'm talking too much. During the summer, with all the training, if it looked like a piece of bread or it looked like it had 50 grams of sugar in it, I was taking it down.
Yeah.
So maybe, I'm like, well, maybe just the way I was just trying to create energy in my body and just eat to get through all this training, maybe that had a negative impact. Because before that, I mean, my cholesterol was always in check.
Yeah.
So within 1 year from my previous year's physical to this year's physical, it's like kind of wild. So I'm going to try to course correct it. I'm going to give it like a year, 6 months to a year, and then kind of reevaluate. But this came up because I've been doing my own blood work, not physically, but paying for my own blood work.
Okay.
All right. So, because I'd go to the doctor and the blood work that they would do is just kind of, you know, probably as a nurse, it's just like a general panel. You're checking your cholesterol and, you know, your sugar and all that shit, but not like all the other stuff that could be tested. And I was, you know, I'm that guy that kind of consumes a lot of health content. Which is why I watch your stuff. I promise everyone I'm going to stop talking here soon. So where am I going with this? So anyways, are you familiar with any like the like Function Health or anything like that?
Little bit.
So we went to Function Health. Like Betsy was feeling like she was maybe having some hormonal stuff going on.
Okay.
So I was getting blood work from another company. And this one is just blood work. They don't try to sell you anything. They give you, actual doctors look everything over. You get clinician notes when it's all done. And then it kind of, if something is wrong, then you'll actually talk to a doctor, right? They'll get a hold of you.
Nice.
They give you the clinician notes, and then they also say, okay, because of all of this or whatever, you should, you know, maybe use this supplement, multivitamin or whatever. Or eat these foods. So they give you a nice little breakdown.
Okay.
$400 for 150 biomarkers.
Wow.
So when I took that in, well, actually, when the doctor's office called me to remind me of my physical, they said, hey, do you want to do your blood work here or have it someplace else? And I said, I already have it done. I'll bring it in. So I brought it in a couple days before, and they scanned it in, and my doctor was like, where did you get this done? This had to have cost $4,000, because that's how much it would have cost if they had done it there.
Okay.
It's like $3,700 or something.
Jeez. Okay.
And that's for 2. So I get my blood drawn twice a year for $400, and I get all these biomarkers, and it's super in depth. But the cholesterol was like all red, like there's something wrong, dog.
Yeah.
So, anyhow, I brought that up because I was just wondering if you ever heard, because you know they're all out there. There's a bunch of these like online where you can go, and this is all done through Quest. So we had to go to Cadillac because the Quest here doesn't offer the same blood draw as the one in Cadillac that does all the, like I said, all the biomarkers. But it is super interesting. I'll show you when we're done. The everything they test for.
Okay.
It's really enlightening. So I mean, I got in. I know that you. Thanks for commenting on my Spotify, by the way. We need comments. When I think it was the 72-hour fast or whatever that you.
Yeah.
One of my episodes that I did with my buddy Dan was a little bit. We talked a great deal about blood work.
Yeah.
And he wasn't getting any blood work done, but he was, taking all kinds of stuff like testosterone and some other peptides and stuff like that. And I'm like, hey, listen, I'm down if you need it and you can use it, but you should get your blood work done first before you. I mean, if you already had testosterone in, like, say, the 700s, getting on replacement therapy is probably not a good thing.
Right.
So anyways, that's why I bring it up, because I was just curious as, how dialed in on everything you are. Because I tend to be like the guy that's kind of like all over the place. It's like, oh, maybe I should be doing this.
I'm really not. So I get my annual blood work done. I haven't opted for any additional blood work or anything like that. I think it's important. I think if you know where to go and know where to look, it can be good for somebody to see all those biomarkers and know what their ranges are. But I think for a lot of people, it's too much information.
Yeah.
And then they start diving into it. And because sometimes things being a little off, it's not a problem. And other times it can be kind of a problem. So I think sometimes people can be too detailed and too nitpicky and, I need to be on this or I need to be on this because this is a little off. Well, there's normal ranges and then there's like normal variance.
Yeah.
So, and everybody's a little bit different too. So I don't try to get too much into that. I think that's absolutely fine. Like, I think it's great that you're doing that. I honestly didn't get my lipid panel done this year because I was supposed to fast for it and I got to get my labs done in Ludington. And I was like, I'm a breakfast girl. Like, I get up in the morning and I eat like within 15 minutes of waking up. I was like, I don't feel like fasting. So I just never did. But last year they were fine. So.
Well, that's good. Mm-hmm. The older I get, the more I'm just, I want to run this meat sack as long as possible.
Yeah.
So I think I get a little extreme sometimes, but what's the alternative? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's why we work out as hard as we do. Mm-hmm. I move every day. I don't have a rest day. Mm-hmm. My rest day would be like 20 minutes on the row machine and maybe another 25 minutes or so on the stationary bike or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's just to get the engine going in the morning. Like, so I don't skip it at all. I mean, even when I'm sick, I try to do some kind of movement, whether it's yoga or something like that, because it just, if I go a day or two, if something happens and I have to skip 2 or 3 days, I just kind of like.
Yeah, your body gets used to it and your mind gets used to it. So yeah, I think a lot of people struggle with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with rest days, but it's still a rest day.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not hitting things hard like you were the rest of the week, so you let your body kind of relax and things repair and rejuvenate.
Yeah, and on those days, I'm not even really working up that much of a sweat.
Yeah.
It's just enough to just kind of get everything moving. It's how it starts my day.
And honestly, it's good for you because, working out causes a lot of inflammation in the body, especially if you're building muscle and stuff like that. And one of the worst things you can do is after a hard workout is do nothing, is sit at home and do nothing.
Right.
Like, your body's just going to feel like garbage. You got to get up and you got to move. You got to do stuff.
Yeah, I found that in the peak training sessions in the summer, that all I wanted to do when I was done was just lay on the couch.
Yeah.
And I had to no, you got like adulting to do, dude.
Yeah.
You got shit to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I mean, like, what's your goal? I've noticed that there's kind of been like a little bit of it just looks like a nice little evolution in your content. And I'm really interested in where you want to go with this for yourself, physically, mentally, and even as far as creating content. Yeah.
So kind of like you, aesthetics they're a portion of it. That's kind of how it all started with me. It was aesthetics. Like, I used to be a typical girl. I didn't like my legs, all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of where the workout kind of started. And then I started reading more about building muscle and what it does for the body and what it does for women, especially perimenopause, menopausal women. We lose muscle mass and bone at alarming rates, and the preservation that can have and the functionality that you can continue to have when you get older. So my gears kind of switched from, there's still an aesthetic component, but from purely aesthetics to longevity. Like, I want to make sure that I am building muscle and preserving muscle and bone in my body, so I can hopefully be doing all the same stuff I'm doing now when I'm 60, 70 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the goal.
That is the goal. And I think I press that really hard. I'm like, if you don't want to build muscle, that's fine. I'm like, but I really think you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. Like, if you don't, especially as a woman, like, it's very important. And you can, like, I have some family members that are kind of starting to get into it, but they're, in their 60s, like, I'm too old. I'm like, no, you're not. I've seen so many women in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, even 90s, that like start lifting for the first time, and you see them. They get their DEXA scan beforehand, and they get their DEXA scan 6 months to a year after, and they're building bone density, and their muscle mass has gone up, and their risk for falling and fracturing and all that kind of stuff dramatically decreases.
And that's the big one for both men and women, the falling and the fracturing when you're older.
Yeah, and there's statistics. I don't know the number or anything, but falling and breaking a hip like shortens your lifespan almost instantaneously. Just because the recovery is too hard. So the functionality and the movement wasn't there before the fall, and it's not going to be any better after the fall. And now you have this broken hip your body's trying to heal, and it's just all bad.
So are you predominantly right now focused on the weight training and building muscle, or are you doing resistance training at all, or any type of?
I used to be a cardio junkie. I was like a HIIT cardio junkie, and I loved it. I had endurance for days. It was amazing, but it was really taxing on my body. So then I kind of took a back seat to that, and I only lifted, and I pretty much that's all I did for about a year and a half. Maybe with a little bit of walking in there, but I really wasn't doing any extra cardio. And my body was just asking for something. Mm-hmm. Like, I just didn't feel good. I felt drained and tired, and my muscles were like, they just didn't want to work. And I thought, maybe I need to add a little bit more cardio. So for me, like, I'm now weight training 2 days a week, and then I do pretty much like full body cardio another day of the week. And my body loves that. It responds to that really well.
So that's like really high intensity it's calisthenics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, more HIIT style training where you get your heart rate really high, and then you rest for lower periods, and then you do it again. So I think a lot of people have, weight training is the only way to go. Like, you don't have to do cardio. Well, you don't have to do cardio, but you also don't have to weight train.
Right.
Like, cardio is going to be, it's great for your heart. Mm-hmm. It's great for your cardiovascular system. That's why they call it cardio. And it's a two-part system. Like, you need to work on your musculoskeletal system, but you also need to work on your cardiovascular system. Like, I don't think just doing one is good enough. I think you need to do both.
So when you weight train, are you weight training just specific muscle groups, or are you doing more of a cross train?
Mostly specific muscle groups when I lift.
Okay, so like the traditional, like bros, Mondays chest, Tuesdays chest, Wednesdays chest.
Well, it's not the bro split. No. So I have one day I do upper body, and then I do my full body cardio day, and then I do a lower body. So when I try to do them either consecutively or like with one rest day in between, because that actually helps promote muscle protein synthesis, so the growth of muscle. So if you don't let your body rest for too long before your next exercise, it's kind of your body's still in that muscle protein, that muscle building stage, and then you get to add more stress onto it, so you get more benefit at the end.
Yeah, I'm more of like what do I feel like doing today?
I used to be that way.
I don't do the same workout 2 days in a row, but I might do the same workout one day later. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just really feeling like maybe I should do legs again or something like that. Yeah. See that? Legs.
Yeah. I probably don't do, the running joke is men only do upper body and women only do lower body.
Yeah.
That's not true. Everybody prefers upper body day.
Yeah. Though I do see people that their sole focus is just on like quads and ass. Yeah. And you can see it man.
That has become a thing.
Yeah. You gotta move up a little bit, I think. Yeah. That's getting a little out of hand. But
and I think, there's a point where it can look disproportionate too.
Yeah.
Like, okay, your legs are huge, but the rest of your body is really like not up to it. So it just looks a little bit disproportionate.
Or vice versa. I've always had catcher thighs anyways, so. How do you handle like, information overload? Because like I said earlier, you can always find what you're looking for on the internet.
I think at some point you just have to stop going down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess you just have to kind of pull yourself away from it, because once you get online and you start searching for something, it can just keep going and going and going and going and going. And then maybe you wind up more confused than you were before you started, because there's all this information coming at you. And sometimes you don't know what's true and what's not.
I know. It's like the eat this, don't eat this.
Yeah.
Do this more, do this less.
And online with, there's so many people are online doing podcasts or having their own pages and things like that, and there's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot. And if you don't have any idea what you're looking for or what you're listening to, you just feed right into that. So I think researching is good. Going down the rabbit hole can be okay, but you got to know what the difference is between like a reputable source and a non-reputable sources when you're finding your information.
And it's getting incredibly difficult.
It's getting harder.
It's getting a lot harder. Yeah, and I think people are more and more getting not trust. There's no trust.
Yeah.
You know, you're losing trust, which is why I like what you're doing. It is rare. My wife and I will talk often. She'll be like, you know, I stopped following people that were constantly trying to sell me shit.
Yeah.
You know, even they started off great, bunch of followers, really enjoyed what they were doing and how they were, you know, helping inspire, you know, and then it turned out, well, oh, by the way, you know, I only eat this, or I only drink this, or I only wear this, and it's constant. It's like, okay, so like, what's the motivation now?
Yeah.
You know,
I just got in touch. This guy follows me, and he just got in touch with me, and it was all about like, he's like, I love what you're doing, and I love what you're promoting, and I'd love to chat with you. I'm like, okay. I'm like, but I don't. He's like, can we Zoom? And I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't even know you, and this just seems kind of weird to me. And then he convinced me to do a Zoom call with him, and he was talking about just positive thinking and mental health and understanding like how to push yourself and things like that. And I was like, okay, that's great. And then we do a second Zoom call, and he's selling supplements and talking about this detox that him and his wife did and all this stuff. And he's like, what do you think? And I'm like, I'm not interested. Like, I personally don't believe in detoxes. Like, I think if you're putting good things in your body's going to do what it needs to do. Like, your liver is going to detox. It's going to be fine. So I personally won't sell that kind of stuff. So I told him,
I'll give you 12 bottles and you drink one a day, and then it detoxes your liver. Some
so he's got all this personal development stuff that he puts up front, but then his little supplement selling is in the back end. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not interested in any of that.
Yeah.
So.
I'm a big believer in like fasting for detox.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you fuck with that at all? Have you?
I've not, but my husband does it, and he feels fantastic.
Yeah.
He loves fasting. I like food too. I like food too much.
Don't get me wrong. Look at me. I like food. But I don't know when we started, but we started kind of doing the whole intermittent thing, intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
And then one day I was just like, I think I'm going to try one of these 3 days, because I had been doing, my wife and I, we would, like, it's easy to do a 12-hour fast. You just stop eating after dinner and then go to sleep.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, all right, let's try to get till, noon the next day and see how that makes us feel, see how it changes or whatever. And then I would do like a 24-hour, like, man, a 24-hour fast. I mean, it's, as soon as you get like that 24-hour mark, things just start to, like, your senses are heightened. You actually feel pretty good.
Yeah.
And then when I did the 72, after I got into like 48, 50 hours, I mean, I was getting hungry again. But then you get into the like 60-hour range, and it's like, Betsy hasn't quite got the 70 to the 3 days yet. But after that second day, you're almost not even hungry.
Yeah.
And because your body's just grabbing all its fuel from within.
Yeah.
And it's pretty amazing. But then you got to be careful. You can't just go eat a pizza.
No.
Fuck everything up.
No.
You're going to be shitting for a week. But it is pretty amazing. I try to figure out what exactly is going on. But yeah, you do feel like your body's just gone through this complete reset, and all the garbage is gone.
Yeah, and I've heard the claims of autophagia and things like that, and I don't know enough about it to have really an intelligent opinion on it. But I was like, man, going 3 days without food. I mean, obviously you can do it, right?
Yeah.
So they say you can survive 7 days without food, but I think people can survive longer than that, especially depending on the amount of excess body fat you have that your body can feed off of. But yeah, I don't know enough about it.
See, that's the other thing, though. That's information overload.
Yeah.
Because we'd watch all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, makes sense. Totally makes sense. We should try it. Yeah. But see, for me, aside from what I would assume are the, health benefits of doing it, it's also something that's incredibly difficult to do.
Yeah.
And I like doing shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, if I can do that.
The mental game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I can get through this, what's next?
Yeah, sure.
It's like the Ironman. Like, there was no quit. I wanted to quit, but I didn't quit. And I don't know what that feels like to quit. And I don't ever want to know what that feels like. But I'm going to do the next thing. By the time I got 3 years till I'm 50. And I plan on doing a full, which is going to be a super test.
Awesome.
But hey, there's fucking people out there that do it. I was competing with people that are in their 60s.
Yeah.
Touching 70 out there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but if they can do it, fucking, I can do it.
Absolutely. I hate the, there's it's all downhill after 30, or they say it's all downhill after women have kids and this and that. Like, no, man, it's a mental thing. You got to get that out of your head. This I can't, you got to let that go. Because you can do whatever. Like, your body will full stop you if it can't. If you break a bone or, whatever. Like, but mostly it's just mental. It's just getting over that hump.
Yeah, I mean, and your body's going to tell you to chill.
Yeah. If it needs rest, it'll tell you it'll need rest. And you should listen to it.
I have a time to that. Betsy's always telling me, just, I'm like, I just don't feel it today. I'm tired or whatever. She's like, just take a day,
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah, see, once I do that, then I'll take another one.
Yeah.
And then it's all over.
You can get into that, yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever think about, we'll get into some bro science here real quick. What about like cold plunging or anything like that?
I think it's fine. I think you don't do it right after a workout.
I do it before.
Before is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, they talk about it's good for the nervous system and it helps reduce inflammation. Of course it does. It's cold. It's like putting ice on an injury. But you never want to do it immediately after workout because your body is going to be producing inflammation to help grow muscle and repair tissues and stuff like that. And all you're doing is hindering that. So, but I think cold plunges are great.
Yeah.
So every once in a while, I've never done a cold plunge. Well, I've done like where somebody dares me to go dive in Lake Michigan in April. I've done that. But cold showers.
Oh yeah.
If you can handle the few minutes of it, yeah, then you feel amazing and it gives you all this energy and yeah.
Some people say, well, no, you're just shivering yourself awake. But
I mean, that might be true too, but it works either way.
yeah, I mean, it's definitely helped me considerably. My cold plunging has kind of evolved. I'm looking for the next thing now, the next tub to get into, because the one that I have it's pretty beat up. But yeah, I'm just trying to live healthier longer.
Yeah.
Increase my health span, and that's why I do the majority of this stuff. But then the other thing is like just the doing of the really hard things. I think when you and I first met, I was still kind of, building Manistee Beverage. And at that point, a 5K was like, I would train for a 5K. You know what I mean? And so my running and my endurance endeavors have grown exponentially because it's just like the doing the hard stuff really just kind of motivates me to do everything else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think more people need to kind of try to tap into that.
Yeah, I think if you do something that's truly hard, then it makes the things that you thought once were hard are just not that hard.
Yeah. That's 100% true. And really, this doesn't have to be hard. You can change. You can move forward.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
fix things. So how does this play a role in like your family life? Are you just trying to lead by example, or is this something that the whole family's kind of behind? Everybody's really kind of into health, wellness, fitness.
No, I wouldn't say so it was probably, 2015? I think it was like 2017 or 2016, something like that. Wayne wanted to get fitter. And he's like, hey, I want to do Insanity. Remember when that came out? That Shaun T's Insanity?
Yes, I have the DVD set.
Amazing. So he's like, I want to do this, but I won't do it unless you do it with me. I'm like, all right, I'll do it with you. Had no idea what we were getting into, but I was in the best shape of my life after doing that. Like, we went full on hardcore, followed the diet to a T,
That's what I was going to say. You got to follow the diet.
Follow the diet to a T. End up losing like 12 pounds in like 6 weeks. And I had so much endurance. I remember taking Logan to the beach. He was, I don't know, 8, 9 years old at the time. And he's like, you want to start from the water and run up to the fence? I was like, yeah, sure. I smoked him. Smoked him. And I was like, this is awesome. And so the kids, you know, they were young still. So they were super active already, you know, playgrounds and stuff like that. Now they're older. And Wayne's still, like, I think that kind of jump started him too. So he still continues to lift and do cardio and all of the things. I don't know, the kids didn't really they're not super into fitness or anything like that. Logan, our oldest, he's doing ROTC, so he's leaving for basic training in February.
I saw that.
So he's got to be in the gym. He's got to be running and doing all that kind of stuff.
Crushed his ASVAB.
Yeah, crushed it. Did awesome. And then
How old is he?
20. Be 21 in March.
So what branch?
Army to start with. And then once he commissions on the officer side, he might jump branches. So when he was young, I don't know if he still actually wants to go that route, but he wanted to get into astronautical engineering. So literally space engineering. And I thought that was the coolest thing. I still think it's the coolest thing in the world. So you'd have to go to Air Force to do that.
Huh?
Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah. Push him to the Air Force.
I've been trying. I mean,
I'm biased, but
yeah.
push him to the Air Force.
He started talking about that when he was like 6 years old, and that was a thing until he was about 17, and then he kind of trailed off on that. But Colin, he's my chef.
Nice.
So he's into that. He does all the cooking and stuff like that. He's not into fitness at all, but that's totally fine. Like, he's 19 years old. It's okay.
Yeah, they'll figure it out. My kids aren't either.
Yeah.
You know, whatever.
So, yeah, it's mostly just Wayne and I.
So his ROTC then, he goes to boot camp, then he goes to university?
He's at the university right now, so he's at Ferris.
Okay.
Studying mechanical engineering.
Nice.
So, yep, he'll continue college through the ROTC program when he leaves in February, and then when he comes back in like September, he'll jump right back into Ferris as a sophomore. So.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter's gonna go to Ferris.
Nice.
She's finishing up West Shore right now, so next year she'll be at Ferris. So military family. Your husband is in the military or retired now, or in?
No, he's active duty. So 3 years ago, he took an active duty position. So he's a training officer for the 119th Field Artillery Unit. So he goes down to Lansing pretty much like Monday through Friday. He was doing a couple of remote days, but then they took that away. So he's pretty much down in Lansing during the week. He's home hunting this week, but yeah, he's normally doing that. So he's a training officer down there, and he loves it. And then he's the battalion commander of Charlie Battery out of Albion also. So he does that work as well.
Marine?
Army.
Mm-hmm. Right.
He's Army all the way.
So that could be a house divided if your son goes in the Air Force.
No, fully supporting.
Yeah.
He fully
great.
supports him. So we tried to get Colin in the military too. He was talking about it a little bit, but it's fine. He doesn't have to, of course. So.
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm former military myself, and I am very much pro-military. I'd rather the age to enter, though, in my opinion, I think should be older. But
Think so?
I mean, you're restricted in your life at 18 years old, and then you get into the military, and it's you're asked to do things that I think 18-year-old kids shouldn't have to do.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then, but then you still can't have a beer to unwind. You know what I mean?
True.
Plus, you know, I get why they do it. I've said this on the podcast before. I mean, when you're 18 years old, you're very much like a piece of Play-Doh.
Yeah.
And they can
just mold you. Yeah.
Mold that Play-Doh in any way they want. And then you're off. But I think there's something to be said about, you know, being a little older, a little wiser, a little bit more, a little bit more wisdom when it comes to that stuff, I think. No shade, because I'm very much pro-military. I loved being in the military.
Did you?
Yeah, it saved me.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, because I was a fucking loser. I mean, when I got out of high school, I went to college. I went to Saginaw Valley, and that was just all I was doing was partying.
Yeah.
You know, I was failing. There was no. I wasn't going to make a second semester. I was there for like one semester. And I walked right into the recruiter's office, and he was like, dude, I've got a 2-car garage. I've got a hot tub. You can have all of this. And you get to pick where you want to go.
Yeah, they make it sound really great.
No shit? Really?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. None of that was true, but...
I almost went in the military. When I was 17. I met with a recruiter. I went to MEPS. And
you went all the way to MEPS?
I went all the way to MEPS. And then I chickened out. Couldn't sign the paperwork. I chickened right out. And I still, to this day, don't care for authority. And I was like, I'm just going to be a puddle. Like, this is just not going to work for me. So I didn't go. But same thing like you. Like, I went to college right out of high school. My mom likes to tell people I majored in beer and boys. So we went to class for about the first 3 weeks. And after that, we just kind of partied and hung out. And, yeah, we got kicked out after our first semester.
Yeah.
And so the military didn't save me. Having kids saved me. Because I was definitely on a path of doing nothing with my life for a little while.
Yeah, it's amazing how kids can change
they
things. They
turn that right around.
It's amazing to see how everybody's on the same playing field in the military at the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I was enlisted. Your husband's an officer.
Yes.
Lucky.
Oh, he started as an enlisted. So
I was on that path. I was going to go to officer training school or whatever, and then ended up getting out and coming home. But it is amazing where everybody's, shaved head, everybody's equal. You don't know backgrounds.
Nope.
I mean, you can kind of get an idea of how people are, but in the I'm sure your husband will tell you, like in basic training and stuff like that, it's definitely kind of a Lord of the Flies mentality when drill instructors aren't around. Mm-hmm. You find out real quick where you're going to place yourself on the pole. But it was pretty easy. It was easy for me. There was a lot of. Remember our first night. This is totally off script. Our first night, I can hear guys crying when the lights went off the first night. Like, we're fucked. This is crazy. I want to get out of here. Yeah. But it was basically just like football practice. Working out for however many couple of months, and then it was over. And then the longer you were in the training, your drill instructors got a little bit nicer. And,
yeah. Those first say couple months, I think.
Yeah, they hammer hard.
Yeah. My husband told my son, he goes, the worst thing you can do is let them figure out who you are right away. He goes, you just fall in line, you don't say nothing. He goes, if they know your name, you're just effed.
Yeah.
Like, you let them figure that out later.
So, quick story. I don't know if the Army has the same thing. I've had some other people from other branches on too, and I think they have maybe something similar. But in boot camp, to go in to the chow hall, we had to wait outside. And then an airman that's in the Air Force, an airman had to go in from the flight and announce that our flight was ready for whether it was breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And you had to do it in front of a panel of drill instructors. Okay. So already fucking terrifying, right? Like, sure. You don't want to go up there because they're going to dress you down every single time. Yeah. Well, there was always one person that was called the chow runner that had to go in and do that so you were the chow runner from day one until the end.
Okay.
So I can remember getting up. First of all, I went in like I thought I was going to be in Top Gun. Right, I had a pair of blue jeans on, a white T-shirt, and my head was I already had a military style haircut. Okay, so I can remember my drill instructor being like, "This guy thinks he's fucking Tom Cruise," But anyways, there was a kid on the bus who still had his earrings, and it's like nobody told him. Mm-hmm. Like, you probably shouldn't look the way you look. Day one. Yeah. His hair was dyed. He had earrings in. Yeah. He was a little bit heavier. And when he came off the bus, that's when you just get descended on by these drill instructors, right? Dressing everybody down. And I can remember the drill instructor saying, "Jesus Christ, it looks like we just found our chow runner," to this kid. I'm like, poor guy. So every day until we got our head shaved or whatever. I mean, he was going in looking the way he looked, and those drill instructors were just murdering him every day. So not knowing your name, that's good info. Yeah. Take that. Yeah. I walked a thin line when we first got into our dorm facility, and you had to like find your locker and your name and all this shit, and everybody's yelling at you, and our drill instructor, Senior Airman Gomez, she was this tall, and she's yelling at me to find my locker, pointing my name. It's just this fucking ritual they do, and I'm laughing because I can't right now. I'm laughing because she's like, she's got a real thick like Mexican accent, and she's screaming at me, and like I said, she's super short. I'm not a tall guy. So she knew me right away. Like, this guy's gonna be a problem. But we became friends at the end.
Yeah.
But I had a good time. I had a really good time. I actually miss those times.
Oh yeah, Wayne talks about his basic training days all the time. Yeah, it's just, you make tremendous friends, and I mean, that's all you got. You got each other. That's all you got. You're getting screamed at by drill instructors and thrown in the mud and smoked every day. And
well, the good thing about Logan, right? He's doing basic training now, so I assume he doesn't have to do it again. He goes and does it, goes back to school, does the ROT thing, and then, wherever training he's got to go. Yeah. He doesn't have to go through that, like, intense, in your face.
I don't know. He's going to go to...
I mean, after boot camp.
Oh, no. I don't think so. But his program is really long. So he leaves in February, and he goes to Fort Sill, Oklahoma, which is cool because that's where Wayne went to OCS. So that's kind of neat. Wayne's like super excited for him to go to Oklahoma. He's like, and Logan's so excited. He's like, Oklahoma in February. He's like, no, it's freaking cold. Like, you're going to freeze your butt off. And then I think 3 months of that, and then they go to Georgia to finish out their training. I forget what it's called, the second phase of boot camp. Anyway, that's where he goes to finish it out. So, but yeah, I don't think it's anything in your face like boot camp type training after that. I think that's it. Okay,
so he's going to boot camp, and then he's going to like a tech school.
No, it's just like a continuation of boot camp.
Right. Oh, so it's not a specialized training for whatever he wants to do?
I don't think so yet. I don't know. He's got I don't exactly know how it all works. So once he commissions and he decides if he wants to jump branches, I think then they'll get that figured out. So.
Yeah, that's cool. You should be proud.
I'm super proud of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Seeing him in his uniform is totally weird. It's like seeing Wayne kid. 20 years ago.
Yeah, you're just a different looking kid. I mean, I was really out of shape when I joined, and I mean,
it'll put you in shape fast.
Yeah, and the amount of calories that you eat, too, and it's not. Even when I went in, I don't know if they've changed the menu at all, but
probably not.
The food was just cheeseburgers, French fries. Yeah. They made us drink milk, like made us. You could have chocolate milk and water. You had to have water. You had to have at least one glass of water with every meal.
Okay.
But you had to have 3 glasses. One of them had to be white milk.
Why?
Then you could have a chocolate milk.
Okay.
But hardly anybody got the chocolate milk because you had to go past the drill instructors to get it. So you were forced to drink 2 glasses of milk and a glass of water.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Every meal. Oh my God. I don't drink milk to this day.
No?
Oh, God, no. Well, I grew up on that shit, too. Like, my parents would put a gallon of milk at the dinner table.
Yeah.
They would just sit it on the dinner table.
Yeah, we always had milk, too. Always, with dinner. That was just a thing growing up. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think it's like that anymore.
No,
but
we didn't really
our
do that
parents,
with our kids, yeah.
Definitely, there was always milk. And it was vitamin D, so it was thick.
Oh, I love whole milk. I still drink... Well, I got my coffee, and I was like, can you put whole milk in it? She goes, I got 2%. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
that'll work.
Good frothy cup of coffee with whole milk. I get it. Yeah. I'm down for that, too. But just, like, drinking a glass of milk.
Every once in a while. I get a craving, like, late at night for something, and I don't want water, and I'll put like 4 ounces of ice cold, like, whole milk in a container, and I'll just slam it.
Yeah, it's my dad. My dad does that shit. Like, he would get up in the middle of the night every night and have a little Debbie and a big glass of vitamin D.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, maybe that's why I'm the way I am.
Maybe. Why do you got a jar of jalapeno eggs on your counter?
Yeah, it's a conversation starter, and we skipped it. So I tried to do a show with my buddies where we, especially my one really good friend, Dylan, he travels for work. He's in a plane 28, 30 weeks out of the year. Goes all over the United States. And he'll grab shit and bring it back and we try it. And particularly when I had the liquor store, he would pick up like different kinds of liquors or beers from other states. And, you know, we had a little deal where we all sat down and tried it, sampled it, gave our thoughts or whatever. And then it kind of evolved. We started bringing food into it.
Okay.
And we got the pickled eggs. And we never did another episode. So I've been carrying them around.
Please don't open
them.
them.
No, I'm not going to open them. They're outdated. But I think they're fun.
Do they actually expire?
You know, that's a great question. It says they're expired now. But, you know, I'm sure in a pinch you could grab some calories if you needed.
Yeah, they might just be a little grosser than they would have been when they weren't expired.
Remember when they'd have that shit behind bars? Like big jars of pickled eggs? I mean...
Gross.
You got to eat somewhere.
I guess.
So one of the things that I definitely wanted to talk about was you had put up a post not long ago, and I'm like, yeah, I wondered. It wasn't that long ago, but it was the post where you were, you know, you got some comments for the like you're so pretty, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now that's to some people they might think that's harmless, and there are some people out there that that are in search of comments like that. They they really want comments like that. And I thought what you said was really well explained and really I appreciated it.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, don't be fucking creepy with your comments. But when you put yourself, I got a ton of shit on the internet. I mean, my footprint online is pretty large. I say that I don't read comments. Probably 90-ish% of the time I don't. When I do read a comment, it's because one of my friends takes a screenshot and sends it in the group chat and says, and I'm like, I would have never have known.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How do you handle stuff like this for people that probably haven't seen your content yet? Or do you get comments like that are negative, more negative than somebody being creepy?
Not usually. I don't think my presence is large enough for that to happen yet. So most of my comments that are negative are not on my posts. They're in my DMs. And I get people, oftentimes they're other trainers or they're just people. And I'm like, and it's not really what you say, it's how you said it, you know, it's kind of thing. Like, yeah, a lot of people are like, oh my God, I love your post because you're so beautiful. And I'm like, oh, you're just being creepy. Like, you're just being a creep. I don't know. I just don't feel like it's necessary, and I don't really see a reason for it. And it started becoming more of a problem this summer. So I think I was getting more of an online presence, more of a following, and then I've had some content that I've boosted to help with engagement and stuff like that, and that's increased the amount of those that are coming through my DMs. So I just decided to right away, like, I'm just going to make content about this. And I actually had one of the guys that the content was about, what I was talking about there, came back at me and was like, why are you mad? Like, because you're being inappropriate. Like, I think having everybody online and you can post and say whatever you want has really allowed people to think that they're like invincible. They can just say whatever they want. Like, half the stuff that people say online, you would never say to somebody's face. You never would.
More than half.
Yeah.
Way more.
So I know a lot of other people get the same stuff, and I'm like, there's just a way to compliment and talk about people's posts online, and there's just a way not to do it. So you want to talk about my content and what I'm posting, that's great, but you don't need to make personal comments like that. It's just unnecessary, and all it does is make me want to not talk to you and block you. Yeah. So.
Yeah, the internet is a perilous place.
Yes, it is.
And I do appreciate the people that follow me or subscribe to my content or whatever. Yeah. Those are the people I'm talking to, which is why when I say I don't read comments, I don't respond to comments either. If somebody DMs me, that's a different story. Depends on what they're saying. If they're being, fucking stupid, then pass.
Yeah.
I don't block anybody because at the end of the day, even the negative shit moves the needle.
Yeah, it drives
you know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's just kind of the nature of what we're trying to do here. But yeah, we live in a clip society now when it comes to the internet, and there's a lot of room, I think, for you to like do more long form stuff, which I think would be really awesome. But the clips and people not like listening or reading or seeing the whole thing you're trying to say, and then they just comment right away.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like no profile picture, Steve 1 2 3 4 5 6 7.
Oh,
it's
gosh,
like, hey, you're online trying to be a dickhead.
Yeah.
I had a 2.5 hour conversation in the previous podcast. I had Nate Markham was on the podcast, and he's a Democrat, and he's a very liberal political person, right? And no shade, but I have a lot of different people on, and there was a lot that was talked about in that podcast, a lot, and I clip because that's kind of the point. If you're not doing like short clips and shit like that, nobody's seeing your content. It's those things that move people towards the whole thing, what you're trying to do. Anyways, one of the clips, again, he's a Democrat, and we were talking about, why like young men are more apt to be Republican, and I have my reasons why I think that, and he has his, but this particular clip was straight up him talking like, yeah, I think it's kind of fucking wild that sometimes as a Democrat, he says, as a Democrat, that I'm like pigeonholed into a category of being a white man. That's not like whatever. So it was a small clip. It was intentional. I put it out there because I knew it was going to get some traction. But the fucking wild thing about it was some Democrats were just hammering us. And I'm like, well, and some of the shit that they said was, it almost makes me want to watch the podcast. You should.
Yeah.
Because there's 2.5 hours of shit in here that, again, this is kind of going down a thing, but like, if you don't know, you don't know.
You don't.
And that's why I'm like, and those were screenshot and sent to me, these comments. And I'm like, hey, fucking whatever. I'm going to sleep like a baby tonight.
So a couple years ago, I'd made a profile on TikTok, and I started doing that. And I got so much hate on TikTok, so much hate, and just kind of same thing, workout videos like I do on Instagram, and I just got off TikTok. I was like, no, this isn't for me.
I will say that number one, the probably the worst place to post anything is Facebook, in terms of like the comments, and then how quickly that turns into like this people you don't even know are interacting or whatever. TikTok is a strong number 2 in my opinion. I mean, I post everything to TikTok as well. I don't know how great of a platform that is for me because I'm just posting clips of the podcast. I'm not dancing or doing dumb shit or eating big burgers or whatever, but YouTube is the Wild West.
Yeah.
You post something wild on YouTube, or not even anything wild, just like a clip from this might get 45 comments, and half of them are like, who are these people? Because it is like, that's the hardest platform to grow anything, because in order for you to comment on YouTube, you have to have an account on YouTube. And then, so you're asking people to come and watch your content on YouTube, and if they don't have an account, they can't comment, and if they don't have an account, they can't subscribe.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and that's the place where I spend a lot of my time is on YouTube. That's really where I'm trying to grow stuff. But yeah, it's just like the more you put out, the more you take in. You got to be a strong person, I think a lot of people want to do what you're doing, what I'm doing, but they're scared of what people are going to say.
Yeah. And
that's why your content resonates with me. I like it a lot. And, I don't think you're shy about it, which is cool.
Not really. I mean, there's content. So I'll share content on Instagram, Facebook, and then I have Threads account too. And I recently, and you know this, I have a Substack account. I haven't really done anything with that yet. I haven't really played around with it too much, but it's there. And some of my content I'll post to Facebook too. It does not get the engagement that it gets on Instagram. I always get comment from my aunt. She's always like, "You're killing it. Love you. You're so strong." She comments on everything, which is great. But I also, a lot of the people I work with, a lot of the professionals I work with are on Facebook as well and like not on Instagram, even though both my accounts are public. So I try to limit some of the stuff that I put on Facebook if I don't think maybe it's appropriate because of my profession. And then Threads, that's a whole nother ballgame. So Threads is just kind of like how Facebook was when Facebook first came out. People just post stuff, like their thoughts, and it's ruthless. Like Threads is ruthless. I don't get hardly any engagement on posts that I cross post from Instagram, but I comment on something and before you know it, there's 1,500 comments to my comment and 10,000 people have looked at it and I'm like, okay. But
yeah, that's wild. See, Threads to me is, I haven't really cracked that nut yet with Threads. It's weird because do you follow the Instagram CEO?
I don't think so.
I'm gonna say he's great.
Okay.
And I'll forward that to you. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but I follow him because predominantly, very high percentage of everything he puts out is how to make your Instagram better, how to make your Threads better. This is, and he does it's Friday, Ask Me Anything. So people ask him questions and then he goes through his story and answers as many as possible. And it's always about like, how can I increase engagement on this or whatever? Are you bringing this? Anyways, so like when I look at Threads and I see people with like, I don't know, arbitrarily 1 million followers on Threads and they've got 2 likes and 3 comments.
Yeah.
So it's like the engagement on Threads isn't there. Threads is almost to me, now yours is different. I'm going to tell you what I'm feeling here. When I look at Threads, it's almost like a place for people just to do this. Kind of like TikTok. Most people just go like this. They don't heart, they don't comment, they don't follow. They just kind of scroll, read, watch, or whatever. Because, and what Meta did with Threads is if you have followers on Instagram, as soon as they open up a Threads account, they automatically follow all of their friends that have Threads accounts. Okay. It's not, so like I have 1,000 followers on Threads.
Okay.
Nobody looks at my shit on Threads. They don't. Yeah. I don't get any comments. I don't get any likes.
I rarely do.
And it's something I get like, 1 million views and get nothing on Threads. It doesn't make any sense to me. But I do see a lot of my friends that I follow on Threads. Like you got engagement.
A little bit.
I mean, I think you've got a considerable engagement when I'm like making comparisons to people that like should have a ton of engagement, right? And so I don't know if it's kind of like, should you be using it more like X? I think that's what they wanted.
Okay.
But I don't.
I've noticed if you pose a question, especially if it's a little controversial, you will get a ton of engagement. Like me cross-posting videos doesn't always get a ton of engagement. But if I say something like, tell me how long you've been a nurse and what kind of career you do, I get tons and tons and tons. People just want to talk. It's also very rage baity. Threads is. It's very, very.
It's just like Twitter.
Yeah. I honestly have never had a Twitter account. I've never been on Twitter. I know nothing about it. Well, I don't know nothing about it, but I've never used it personally.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mess with Twitter. I have a Twitter account. Every now and then I'm like, oh, I should be posting some of this stuff to Twitter just to see what happens.
Yeah, sure.
But Twitter is just, to me, it's just a place. I go there for news, if I'm being honest. I'll hop on X to see what's trending, what's going on. But other than that, like I did a whole purge. Like I don't have any political anything on my feed anymore for Instagram or Facebook. I deleted people. I deleted creators that all they talk about is politics because I'm trying not to have that fuck with my bandwidth.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's bad enough. People get pissy with me about that too. Like I'm supposed to like be vocal about everything.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, go away.
I'm only vocal about politics if I really feel passionate about it. I think there's only probably in the last year you might be able to find like 3 posts from me So, but yeah, I try not to do any of that because that's not what I'm trying to get. It's not the content it's not the engagement I'm trying to encourage.
No, I mean, I feel like these days I'm more of a political orphan, if I'm being honest.
I don't want people on my page arguing. Like, that's not what it's for.
Yeah. Sometimes I throw some shit out just to be funny. And it turns into a political argument, which is so retarded.
And I hate sometimes I make content and I'm like, man, this is freaking gold. And then it gets like 400 likes and 3 comments and I'm like, God, this sucks.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about being a content creator. I really, it's the one that you don't think.
I know.
I've spent time when I was doing a lot of like videos and trying to do some funny content, which I still enjoy, and I often think about trying to get back into doing. The ones that took me hours to put together, and lighting was right, the cuts were perfect. I'm like, oh, this is funny. Nothing. And the ones that take like 2 seconds just skyrocket.
Honestly, I think the best videos I've ever seen you do. I mean, the Halloween one, that was gold.
And that was a production. I mean, I had my buddy walking around with a camera, hiding.
It's funny as hell, and it's, you're encouraging people to go into the stores in town, but it was just hilarious. And then there was one of you, and I think I walked by that day, or you guys were sitting out in your beach chairs in front of the beverage company, and it's like 52 degrees outside and sunny in like May. What are you guys doing? But you guys made content about that, and it was just hilarious. Yeah, I
love doing that shit. But I'm just really focused on the podcast right now. But and that's the stuff that gets the most engagement or whatever. Yes. I mean, honestly, that's what I'm trying to do. I mean, I want more guests on the show. I want this to be something that people really enjoy listening to. So that's why I spend a bunch of money trying to get better equipment, better mics, better cameras. But we'll get there. I'm super passionate about it. So like if I have 1,000 episodes and it never gets any bigger than what it is, it's more for me, Like, did you ever think that we'd sit down and talk for 2 hours? No. And that's when I have people come in here and we have these long conversations. It's like, hey, listen, like people just aren't doing this anymore.
Yeah.
This is just much for me to get to know you and learn from you and maybe there's something like really wildly interesting that I knew nothing about that now I know. And I just let other people watch it or listen to it.
Yeah.
So it's really more for me, which is why sometimes it's like, doing the content that you're putting out, that's just as much for you as it is for somebody else, because you're holding yourself accountable in every single post you put out.
Absolutely. Yeah. I try to real, authentic content. Like I will never, if I don't know about a subject, I will not talk about it. Like if, you ask me a question about intermittent fasting or this or that, I don't know enough about it. I'll just tell you, I don't know. And I made a reel lately that basically said like, this is my page. I don't filter things. I don't post trending workouts. I don't do this. And I'll never tell you anything that I know nothing about. Like you'll never get fake stuff from me ever.
So I wondered about the comments with like when you do, like when you're eating or making something to eat, it's so real, right? It's not like you're using a bunch of super expensive organic shit or whatever. This is like grocery store stuff you got. You put a meal together and this is what I'm eating and blah, blah, blah. So, and it's the other thing I don't do is I don't really read other people's comments. I was curious. I didn't look yet. But like when you post stuff like that in particular, like what you're eating, what is that like? The response? I
get a lot of response. I usually post that to my stories and I'll get a lot of responses to my stories where people will just say, oh my God, that looks amazing. A lot of times people ask me for recipes. So I've shared stuff like that. But yeah, I think nutrition, a lot of people really struggle with that.
Yeah.
So I try to make it as simple as possible. Like you do not have to overcomplicate this. You don't have to go buy all organic. You don't have to have these particular ingredients. Like this is what I have in my house and this is what I made and this is what the macros are if you care to know.
That was my other question. So do you track all that stuff?
Periodically. So right now I'm actually kind of like you, I'm in a deficit right now, or I'm trying to be. It's been a little bit of a struggle, which normally it's not for me. We're going on vacation in February and I would like to be a little bit leaner when we go.
Yeah, roger that.
And, but yeah, I was completely against macro tracking forever until about 3 years ago, I thought, this is so stupid. Why would you track your macros? Like, that's just, anyway. So I did some research and I started tracking, and I was like, okay, joke's on me. Like, I think this is a great tool for people. There's a lot of people out there that say, well, that's, a stepping stone to an eating disorder. Only if you want it to be, only if you treat it that way. Like, I think it's a tremendous tool for people, especially if they have no idea. Most people have no idea what kind of calories they're consuming.
Yeah, dude. So, like, when you say you're tracking everything now and you're in a deficit, can I ask what the caloric intake you're trying to achieve per day?
It's right around like 1,880 calories.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a little lower than that. Just a touch. But how hard it is. Mm-hmm. But then again, you could also eat something that's got a lot of volume to it anyways. Yeah. But it is hard. And when you say to yourself, oh my God, like just adding this little bit of sauce.
Yeah.
Olive oil.
Yes.
Holy shit. Like, I use the FitnessPal app. Okay. And just like measuring out olive oil, I'm like, there's no way.
It's crazy.
It's nuts.
So my son Colin and we had a conversation about this, because there's a couple times he's been trying to lose a little bit of weight. And he's like, I don't eat that much. I said, I guarantee you're eating more than you think. I know you are. You are. And so we broke it down. He's telling me about a meal he made. He works at the Wander Inn. So great place, by the way. Yeah, for sure. Awesome stuff. So he works there, and he was talking about a dish that he personally prepared, helped create, and all of the things that are in it. And I said, okay, let's break it down. All right, I said, what did you marinated the chicken. What'd you marinate the chicken in? And he's like, blah, 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 blah. I said, olive oil, 120 calories for a tablespoon. He's like, no. I'm like, go check the avocado oil we have in the kitchen. I said, between 100 and 120 calories. I said, I'm guaranteeing it. So how much oil did you use? And he's thinking, and then we're talking about cheese, and then we were talking about the chicken, and we were talking about the rice or risotto or whatever was with it. And I guesstimated around 700 calories, which is on the low end for a restaurant meal, like for a dinner. And I said, he's like, 700 calories? I said, it adds up so fast. I said, and you don't understand where these little things come from. I said, oil, butter, sauces. Like, it does not take a lot to have a lot of calories, and I explained to him why. So a lot of people are like, well, why is it so high in calories? Well, that's because fat is 9 calories per gram, whereas your protein and your carbs are 4 calories per gram. So you eat, you get a hell of a lot more, almost double the amount of calories, a little more in fat than you would anything else. I said, stuff really adds up. I said, but fat makes the food delicious. So that too.
Yeah, we're fucked.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard.
It's humbling when you first start looking at stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Like, really, like, okay. I love it when people, like, actually pull a serving size of peanut butter out and, like, measure it, and they're like,
there's nothing there.
There's nothing. Like, there's nothing. Yeah. Like,
peanut butter is a culprit.
Oh, it's so good.
It is good, but it's a big culprit.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, even like I started actually weighing, like, I get a chicken breast, and you can go into the app and just type in chicken breast, and it gives you a bunch of different.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, is that a medium one? Fuck. All right, I'll go weigh it.
You gotta weigh it out.
Put it on the scale. It's a lot bigger than I thought.
Yeah. And eventually you learn to eyeball stuff. It's like when you're going out to a restaurant, you can kind of guesstimate, what's going on. I've made several posts about protein. Protein is super important for us in general, whether you're lifting weights, working out or not. And I've had some friends come to me for like diet and nutrition advice, and they're like, I can't eat any more protein. I'm like, it's not as difficult as you make it sound. Like, they're eating 2 eggs for breakfast. I'm like, have another egg or throw some liquid egg whites in there. And people they just won't. Like, I don't really understand that, but they just won't.
Yeah. Do you like follow Dr. Peter Attia at all? Mm-mm. That's another good one. I'll send it to you. I just listened to like a 2.5 hour podcast just about protein from him. And he's got his own medical practice or whatever. And when he talks about like having his patients hit protein goals, it's like way higher than what traditionally, like, what was it, like 1 gram per body weight or something like that?
1 gram per pound of lean body weight is a lot of what people recommend, just because it's an easy number.
And he's like above that.
Yeah.
He's like, because even if you're trying, like say you need to do 180 grams a day or something like that, and then you have a day where you only do like 160 or 140, you can't catch up the next day and do two something.
Okay.
Your protein levels are, and I'm just listening to this. So like I'm tracking my protein now. And sometimes it is like, I guess I need to have another scoop of protein powder today to get there.
Yeah. Sometimes.
You know, sometimes it can be because we kind of eat all over the place. A lot of veggie heavy one day and then, meat heavy the next. But it's a struggle. I'm just shooting for gains here, Rach. Just shooting for gains.
I think it's hard. Like, people, protein every meal. And I'm like, you don't have to have protein every meal. But if you're hitting a high protein, like 130 plus grams of protein, you kind of have to. Like, you have to incorporate it somewhere because you're not going to hit that. There's been days where I don't track, but I know I haven't hit my protein. And then all of a sudden at nighttime, I'm having eggs and cottage cheese and a protein shake. And then I'm like, oh my God, I'm so full because I've just consumed 50, 60 grams of protein. So.
How dialed are you on your metrics for working out? I mean, do you track, like I do Garmin and Strava, and I track everything and steps and all that shit?
I only track my steps. So right now I'm aiming for about 8,500 a day. This time of year, my steps go way down,
right.
Because I'm just not outside as much. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm getting my steps in. So, because I could easily, if I'm like in the summertime, I was getting anywhere between 8,000 and 10,000. So now that I'm in a calorie deficit, I want to make sure that my steps are still up there. So I'm burning just as much.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Nice. Yeah, I find myself just getting like lost in the numbers sometimes, and I'm like, dude, stop! You're not like an Olympic athlete. Going for a hike, or put the hike on there. So
no, my watch will tell me. So if I'm out riding my bike or something, be like, it looks like you're working out outside. Would you like to track this? And so I'll hit yes. I'll do that if my watch prompts me. But if it doesn't prompt me, I forget to do it. And I don't know how my watch calculates if I'm working out. But I could go in the gym and lift weights for an hour and a half, and it'd be like, oh, you worked out for 3 minutes. I'm like, the hell I did. I think it's based on heart rate.
Oh, okay.
So, and I don't know what the heart rate limit is, but I mean, I've checked my heart rate when I'm working out. I made a post about that too. Like, I was lifting weights and my heart rate was in like the 160s. I'm like, so, you get a little bit of cardiovascular workout with that as well, without just, straight up cardio.
Yeah. No, I find the heart rate is, it's important for me. So like, my max heart rate is like 187 or something like that. Mm-hmm. And so for the endurance stuff, it's important for me to know where I'm at.
How's your resting heart rate now after you did all that endurance stuff, training for the
my resting heart rate was somewhere close to like 55.
Yeah.
This isn't a brag. It really kind of amazed me throughout the summer, but like I did that Ironman and I barely touched zone 3. I mean, I was full on endurance mode the whole time. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, my cardio is top shelf. My VO2 max is getting better. It was like 55.
Explain that to me. I've seen people talk about that. I haven't Googled it. I don't know what VO2 max is.
There's like a crazy sciencey description for it. I mean, we can ask Google to make sure that I say all the words right.
Yeah, I've seen people post about it lately, and I'm like, I haven't looked that up yet.
I mean, the better your VO2 max, the better your endurance, the better your cardio, your wind. Let's see, VO2 max is the maximum rate at which body can use oxygen during intense exercise.
Okay.
Yeah, like and Garmin tracks it for me, and I think that it'd take me a second to find my Garmin, but yeah, I love it because it. There's my training stats, performance stats, VO2 max. Yeah, so 55. I'm in the top 5%. I'm in excellent. Nice. For my age and gender.
Okay.
There are some crazy athletes out there, like real legit endurance athletes, 70, like way up there. And it is really super difficult to increase it to those levels. Yeah. Like honestly, I'll never be in that range. Because these are the guys that are doing like the oxygen training and all this stuff, trying to really soup that up for every advantage. But the better your VO2 max is, the better, you're just cardiovascularly you're going to be. So I track it because I want to make sure that I'm improving. And
tell me why this is a thing. So like, I don't know if you struggle, but even when I was like great endurance athlete, stairs still suck. Why do stairs still suck? Like no matter what.
I think because you're using the biggest muscles in your body, which are typically your quads anyways, and a ton of blood and everything is being forced that way. Because when I do, the trail runs, then you have to start climbing elevation. That's even if you're just walking, you're losing wind. It's a different animal. I can't explain it either, but that's the worst part of every race for me is the hill. And your calves just burn. Calves burn, quads burn. And then your lungs start to burn. It's a challenge. That's a great question. I wish I had the answer for that, because if I did, it seems I'd be much better at it.
All the times in my life where I've been super fit, stairs are still bare, that's for sure.
I look at that Stairmaster thing at the gym and see people doing it, and I'm like, that's not for me. I don't do that. I'll just go out and run.
And if I really want to do stairs, I'll just do stairs at my house. I got 2 sets of stairs. I'll just run stairs. It's fine.
Yeah, it's funny because I never set it, but there's like a stair thing on my Garmin that tells me when I've reached certain flights or whatever. And I go up and down the basement stairs a couple of times, and it says, "Congratulations, you hit your step goal, your stair goal," or something like that. I'm like, I never set a goal, and it's pretty low. It's not. It's like you've gone up 10 flights. Or something like that for the day. I'm really bad about the stairs at work. So I work on the 3rd floor, and I am an elevator girl a lot. And people are like, "Really? But you exercise?" I'm like, "Yeah, but I still hate stairs." Like, I don't know. One of the girls gives me heck for it. She's like, "You should take the stairs," and I'm like, I just don't feel like it's necessary. I worked out for an hour and a half this morning. I don't feel like it's necessary. I'll take the elevator when the elevator's you can always tell when somebody's ran up the stairs or or even just walked up the stairs. Every time. So I guess kind of the bookend of this podcast, where do you think you want to take this, what you're doing? I don't know. Everybody asks me that. I don't really know what the end game is. So I don't want to be considered an influencer. I am not really looking for branded content. If I just want to help people if they need it. I just want to be there and say, I'm going to go check out this person's page because I know it's authentic and real and she's not going to lie to me. So that's all I want. Well, I think that's great. Thanks. I think it's crap too that Instagram has put a limit now. Like you have to have 1,000 followers to do a live. Yeah, this incentive-based, a lot of that stuff is like, if I just get a little bit more, then I can do this, when they should just let everybody. They should. I don't have 1,000 followers. So we talk about that too. Like I've been doing this for 10 years and I just, if you like my stuff, you like my stuff. Occasionally I boost things for engagement, but it's been creeping up lately. But I'd love to be able to do a live. I just can't. Not me. People ask me all the time, why don't you do lives? And I'm like, because every now and then I could say some wild shit and I don't want to detonate. You know what I mean? Plus, it's like I've done some lives in the past, and it's mostly just for like quick stuff, like maybe the race stuff or promoting something really quick or whatever. But and more these platforms are encouraging the lives because it's a way to generate revenue. There's more engagement with the people that are following you, so it kind of moves the needle with things. And I just I'm like, it's going to take me a couple days to edit this and then put it out, and that's fine. It doesn't need to be live. There were some podcasts that I watched back in the day that were straight up live on YouTube. Okay. Like there was no editing. Guest would come in, sit down, camera would come on, and be a live feed on YouTube. I think that's kind of cool. It's brave. Yeah. Depending on who I have on the podcast, they might say some wild shit, and there's no editing it out. It's there forever. True. I like to be fair. I mean, if we had a, somewhere in this conversation, you were like, hey, you might want to, like, this is your chance kind of thing. Like, you might want to, I don't really want that on there. Or I've said in the past, like, hey, that part you talked about earlier, I'm going to take that out of the podcast. I don't think anybody needs to hear that. I don't think that's going to be good for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've been doing this long enough. So, yeah. Not that I'm trying to hide anything, but like if somebody says
No, I get it.
it's like, we still live in a town where people, they know what's up.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to hurt anybody's reputation.
I know I'm very thoughtful about what I say. Like when I record myself talking, and I do a little bit of editing, but it's nothing major. But I'll usually take 3 or 4 takes because I tend to ramble, or I'll talk in circles. And I'm like, nobody's gonna watch for 3 minutes if I'm talking in circles. So we need to like edit it and move stuff around and so.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, check out her page. I'll put the link in the show notes. I encourage everybody to check it out, especially if you're into health and fitness, or you just want to see somebody being real. So, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Thanks, awesome. Everybody.